should know this. Everyone should.
Wait, are you Jewish?
I am.
You should know Lance, Susan. Sorry,
Now I
Lance.
know
Between
Lance.
Lance and
Lance
Connor,
I
it's
heard
like
Lance had kids too. I brought some books for
I have.
Lance has 27 children.
I only have 6.
27.
All right. So, are you good, Connor?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're here with Susan Verde. She is a children's author. And at first, hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you.
You know how people like vacation in the Hamptons and you're like, oh, wouldn't it be great to live there? Or they vacation in the Caribbean and you're like, wouldn't it be great to just live there? Or they vacation like up in Killington at the base of a mountain. You're like, wouldn't it be great to live there? Well, in New York, like if you're going to go to the beach, you really want to go to the beach. You head out to the eastern part of Long Island, a little area called the Hamptons, and they're beautiful beaches and it's lovely. And I just was kind of passing the time waiting for Lance and Connor to get ready, and I said, oh, where do you live? And she said the Hamptons, and then I fell off the couch and I picked myself back up and I said, can you be my best friend?
Yes.
Is there any way that we can be best
It'll
friends
work.
so that I can come out and visit you at the eastern part of Long Island where you have your house all year long, so I too can enjoy the beautiful serenity
City
of...
fix every once in a while. We can do it.
Is this enough
This
fix
is
for your city
totally-
appetite?
Yeah.
Okay.
This
If
does
this
it.
is enough fix for you,
This does it.
then I will be happy to trade you. I'm wearing a dog tag that was given to me by the Einhorn, Epic Einhorn cookie
I know. I'm a
folks.
little jealous. It looks great.
It's not a bad
It
looking.
matches with the. It really does. It goes with the.
It's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad you like it. I'm not a fashionista, so I need someone like you to tell me that this works for me. Okay. You've chosen to wear a black sweater. It's 104
because
degrees.
I knew.
Yeah, so she's a children's author, not the brightest woman in the world, clearly. 108 degrees. Anyway, Susan Verde writes these great children's books. And, but I was confused because one of them was, I don't want to say a complicated theme, but a really interesting theme. And then others are really simple, but both incredibly, well done and sort of well put together. How did you start in all of this?
I was a teacher for a long time before I had my children. An elementary school teacher.
What grade?
Kindergarten and nursery school.
Okay.
And I was a collector of children's books and a writer since forever, but I'd never really done anything with it. And then I had these 3 insane, amazing children and took some time off. But wrote, just kept writing when I had, between vomit and poop and diapers.
We should
and
mention
all that. Yeah.
she had twins, and then a year later you had a third.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
insane.
Twins were in vitro. Third was unplanned.
Okay.
Amazing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, but those
exhausting.
3 years were probably
I
really
think
hard.
they're kind of a blur. I don't.
I'm in the blur now.
Yeah, you're in it. You're in it. It's like you kind of block it out.
I've blocked it out. I don't remember who my kids are right now. It's
No.
blocked.
No.
I know your kids better than my kids.
Yes. Well.
Okay. So
No.
now you are teaching.
So I was
You are
teaching.
changing diapers.
Yes,
You are
and
trying to
then
understand how this was your life.
Right. Exactly. And figuring out how to maybe catch a nap every once in a while. But
That's
a lot.
hilarious.
And forget exercise. It was like unless I was carrying them on the treadmill,
Right.
it was really difficult.
What are their names?
Joshua and Gabriel are the boys, and
Uh-huh.
Sophia is the girl.
Love it. Beautiful. Hi guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, so then I had been writing, and once my kids were in school, I had this stack of stuff, and I didn't really know what to do with it. And I had a very dear friend who is also a children's book author, Emma Walton Hamilton. She's Julie Andrews' daughter, and they had written all these things together.
Wow.
I was her son's teacher, and then her daughter was in my boys' grade, so it's like very...
Did you ever see Julie Andrews come in?
Many, many times. She's
Really?
an amazing grandmother. She shows up for everything.
Wow.
Every event,
How great is that?
every play. She's subdued, she's gentle, she's just...
Julie Andrews.
And everyone is in awe. Everyone's like, Mary Poppins, Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
But she's a lovely, lovely woman. And an amazing grandma. Like,
She
goes to every
is.
conference, every event.
If I ever saw her, I would tell her that for every job that must be done, there's obviously an element of fun, and you find the fun, and then snap, obviously, the job's
I
the
think
gate.
you might not be the first to tell her that, but
It's okay.
I don't think she gets
I'm not
tired of it.
competitive. I just wanted to be
She
one of.
never gets tired of it.
Of course not.
But yeah, so her daughter Emma Walton, they write children's books, and Emma had runs a children's literature conference every summer out in Southampton. So I went up to her and I'm like, I have this stack of stuff. I've got to do something with it. So she said, come take my class. So I went to her class, and learned a lot of things. She was amazing. I kept writing. And then the following year, author-illustrator Peter Reynolds was teaching a class at the same conference. And I went and took his class, and one of the perks was showing him my stack of stuff. And the first thing he saw was this poem I'd written called Museum. And he was like, Susan, this is a book, and if someone else illustrates it, I'll be really upset. And after, sort of looking over my shoulder, we collaborated on this book. We created a dummy. We sent it in to his agent, and 2 weeks later it was sold to him.
Stop it!
Yeah, it was
what a great
kind of
story,
crazy.
and it's had an easy story.
Yeah, so, and then I signed on with an agent, and then it just went from there. So he and I have done 4 books together, and then I have a bunch of my own coming out without him.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's where we are. So the first was the museum, and in the meantime, I was also teaching. I wanted to still connect with kids.
Yeah.
Like face to face, but it was too time consuming to be in the classroom. So I got certified to teach kids yoga and mindfulness, and I've been doing that in addition, which I love.
That's hard, teaching kids yoga. I took 1 yoga class with the kids, and forget them, I couldn't even pay attention. I was like, all right, we're going to do something else next week.
The best thing about it is it's totally different from an adult class because there is talk and conversation and
Right.
laughter and craziness, and so it's really
How old are
enjoy
the
that.
kids you teach?
I teach from preschool up through 21. I mean, I teach all ages.
You should come to a 42-year-old sometime who needs desperate centering in her life.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Or teach me, whatever.
I can do it. I'm qualified. Will you talk to me? Because I like that.
Are you kidding? It's all I do. This is it.
This is
You gotta
4 hours
start.
of talking.
It's 4 hours of me.
Then it'll be perfect. It'll be
All
perfect.
right, so look at these cool books, you guys. We'll get to the museum after, but first of all, I'll tell you, I'm a sucker for things like flipping around. I see a infomercial, and if it seems really cool and easy to do, I'll buy it. I'm
in it
sorry.
too.
I have 420 of these little slip things that go under your carpet so that the carpet doesn't slip. I only needed 4. I ended up buying, if you buy 2, then you get 2 more, and next thing you know, I have 450 of them. 450.
You never know when you might lose them.
No, I have 4 bags of 100, and then I have 2 bags of 25. I literally have 450. Anyway, if I saw this on the shelf, it could just say anything, and I would buy it because it's simple. Or this, you and me. Regardless of what this is about, I already love the story. It's cute, it's simple, it's easy. I love the font, I love the color. I'm hooked.
Thank you.
So, speaking of which, what is it about?
Well, You and Me was actually about friendship, but it's sort of all of those steps we take that could have, or we sometimes think are leading us in the wrong direction. Or
Sliding
the wrong
doors.
place. It's sliding doors. It's picture book sliding doors. But then we end up where we're supposed to be, with our best friend, spouse, whatever, wherever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of appreciating all of those.
I really, really
Steps.
love this.
Thank you.
I mean, it's a great idea. How do you know the difference between an idea that's going to turn into a book and an idea that's just one of 75 ideas that you have?
You really can't predict. For me personally, I know when I've written something meaningful for me, when I feel it literally in my body. It just feels like, wow,
Yeah.
that's something. Whether the general public wants it or not, I can't always predict, but so far, so good. It just has to feel good to me and feel like something I have experienced or can connect to.
No, this is great. This is great. Just tell me, and then I want to ask you some other questions about the Water Princess, because this seems like a left turn from You and Me and I Am Yoga.
So this was a very different project. This is actually inspired by a woman named Georgie Badiel, who is a supermodel in Manhattan, and she is from Burkina Faso. And
Burkina Faso?
Yes, Burkina Faso.
My kids, actually, we have a running joke. When I was doing the malaria work, it was always like we would go through the African continent and we would get up to Burkina Faso.
Actually spoke of
Burkina Faso. It was like
Faso? Yes, now you can tell them. Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso.
She met Peter through a series of other connections, the illustrator, and she had this story that she wanted to share about growing up in Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso?
Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso, and walking to get water, which, we all kind of know that goes on and that there is
Sure.
a lack of clean water, and she experienced this herself, and so it was kind of her dream to have a picture book about this. And he connected her to me, and I fell in love with her, and we just became super close friends. And suddenly the story took on a lot of importance. And I wrote a story about a young girl who walks every day to get water, but has hope about making a change. And so we've already a portion of the royalties go to building wells.
Right.
And she's throughout this process started her own foundation. And so far we've already built one well at a school in Rio.
Fantastic.
And we're keeping it going.
Great,
Yeah.
Susan.
It's an exciting
I was worried that it was going to be a sad book and that she was going to end up with no water or something, because I can't read The Giving Tree.
I can't either.
I can't listen to Cats in the Cradle.
You can't read The Giving Tree?
I can't.
I literally cry.
I love that
Literally
book.
cry. Literally will tear up,
Yeah.
and I cannot read it. Just like I can't listen to Cats in the Cradle. Like, it's so... I understand the concept of, like, profound sadness, but I don't want to, like, purposely put myself in it.
No,
If I end up
agree.
there, then I end up there. But I don't want to purposely put it in, like, my ways. Sadness.
Yeah.
Oh, at the next turn, read, you know,
Take a left. At the
take a
Giving
left
Tree.
at the Giving Tree, and then
Take a left at Tigger and
turn
end up at The
on-
Giving
I
Tree.
can't do it.
No, that was part of the my whole thought process behind writing this book, and in speaking to Georgie about her own story, is that it needed to be hopeful. It needed to inspire change. It couldn't be like there is no water and there is no hope and that's the end. So I really felt like that was important, because I can't go there either. I
Right.
want there to be
Something.
way to make
Yeah.
a difference.
But then again, I'm sorry to take us onto another tangent.
No.
I was also the person that couldn't watch. I couldn't watch Three's Company because two people always knew something that the third one didn't, and it drove me crazy. I'm like, it's so obvious. How do you not know it? But it was always two people are in on something, and the other one didn't. And you didn't know it till the very end, or
The threesome thing is really
it's really hard, right, Susan? Or other things that I can't watch anymore. The episode of the Brady Bunch when they go to Hawaii and the tarantulas in
Tarantula.
everything. Can't watch that anymore.
But I think it changes when you have kids too. It's like, I don't know why, but suddenly when I had my children, I couldn't watch all these horribly
Yeah.
sad, depressing.
Wait, I can't watch SVU anymore.
Oh no.
I can't watch Law and Order. They're taking kids left
They
and
take
right.
kids,
Stresses
yeah.
me out, and I was on Law and Order. Shameless plug.
3 times.
3 times. Yeah, I did the trifecta. 3 times, Susan. Trace.
Did you steal a kid? Were you?
I didn't steal anything. I was a
Alright, good.
reporter. It was a stretch
Alright.
for me. I was more of a reporter on the show than I was on the Today Show, I'll tell you that much. At one point, I had... The first episode, I had 3 lines, and I literally practiced day and night. We did an entire Today Show piece. You can Google it on how I was practicing my 3 lines. I said the lines over and over. I said them first thing in the morning. I said them in the shower. I said them at the dinner table. I said them getting coffee. I said them walking down the
What
street.
were they?
Wait a second. I said them. 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 I must have said them 400 times. I knew them inside and out. We get on the set. I go to say my first line. Nailed it. The director says, I need more. So can you just ad-lib? Like, ad-lib a little in the beginning. Like, it doesn't have to stick to that line. Just ad-lib a little something about whatever. And I was like, I don't think you understand. Like, my whole raison d'etre was the 3 stupid lines, which I now can't even remember because you threw me off with the whole ad-lib. And so I was a disaster. But I did ad-lib a little bit of, I don't know
Well, they
what.
brought you back 2 more times, so you must have done something right.
I did. They brought this last time they brought me back was 2 weeks after I had the baby. 2 weeks.
Could you remember anything?
Yeah, right. And we shot at 11
Did you
o'clock
just get
at
on
night.
and cry?
I was just pumping. I pumped.
You came
I
on
had
with
the,
your breast pumping.
yeah, it was awful. They stuffed me like a sausage into that tight
You had one of the crest
dress.
pumps?
I had my breast pump.
Oh, it's not a crest pump?
Not a crest
No.
pump, a breast
Oh.
pump.
That was in our house, we thought it was a crest
A
pump.
crest pump? But I don't know.
They-
what a
back
crest
in the
pump
days,
is.
they used to have like these pumps for crest. When my kids were born, and we
Is that
all thought it was
toothpaste?
a true story. There used to be like this thing called a crest pump.
But what are you pumping? Crest?
Crest toothpaste out of
What?
it. Yeah,
Out of
you
a
used to
pump?
pump it like so that
Oh.
Is it like a gallon?
so that you
thing
wouldn't have
you-
like the things like rolling up on you.
Oh.
Okay, so and my kids, we all thought we all thought it was a crest pump. Like,
Oh, that's very funny. No, this was
Not quite
different.
the same.
Very different. This was I was extracting milk from my
right,
breasts.
right, I gotcha.
Not so that I could brush
Yeah,
my teeth
I
with them.
caught on with it a little bit later.
No,
in
but
life.
it was not pretty. We were supposed to shoot at 8, and then you tried it. If you remember, did you breastfeed?
Yes.
I tried to time it so that, do I do it before? Do I do it after? If I do it before, it's too soon. I won't get enough milk. If I do it after and I go too long, it's a terrible timing. So I gambled, and I lost. And 8 turned into 9, turned into 10, turned into 11. And then finally I said, I'm sorry, I have to go. It's 11 o'clock at night. I don't even remember what I'm doing there, much less my last name. I hadn't slept in 3 days. I was like, I have to go. I'll be right back. They're like, no, now we're going to start. I'm like, I've been hearing that for 4 hours. I run into the room, couldn't take off my dress because I was swollen. I just had a baby. I lift the dress, one of those tight dresses. I lift the whole dress up. I'm like a maniac. I lift it up.
Because when you
I
have to
suction
pump,
them on. You have to pump. I suction them on, and I hit on, and it's so annoying. It is so loud, and I'm like, fine, just get it out. I don't even care about the milk. Like, I would throw it away. I just wanted to like relieve the pressure. Sure as shit, without fail, I knew it was gonna happen. Boom, the runner walks right in, and I'm standing there. Now, in order for, let's just say it again in case you weren't paying attention, I had a baby 2 weeks prior. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I should be in bed. 2 weeks.
Do you have any postpartum issues?
No, I feel like I'm having them now. I had Spanx on. I had to have Spanx on. Now, I'm in shape. Like, Spanx on. Plus, they put me in something to, like, keep it a little tighter here. So I just pulled that down. My bra was off to the side. And for a kid who was probably 22 years old that was a runner on the show, Law and Order probably was so happy he was on Law and Order to grab me and bring me to the set. And I was like, there was nothing I could do. I was like, this is happening. That's all I said. I was like, this is happening. And he was like,
It's like the wedding scene in the wedding dress scene in Bridesmaid. It
Yeah.
just has to happen.
so it had to happen.
They let it
I
go.
got on set. I could not remember my line. I was like, they're never going to have me back. It was a scene with Rob Morrow. Remember him, Rob Morrow?
I do.
The two of us were in this scene, and I said, I had to tell him. I was like, I'm a big fan of yours. I loved watching you on Northern Exposure.
Right.
Not that this means anything to you. I just had, I'm really not this big. I'm sorry to say it. I feel very swollen, and I'm sweating profusely. And I just want you to know I'm really sorry, and I probably smell. And my breasts aren't normally this big. He's like, I swear to you, he goes, you don't have to tell me this much. He's like, you should tell me less. And I was like, that's a good idea.
Okay.
That's a great idea. Anyway, they haven't had me back since. I can't imagine why. It was such a blazing success. Enough about me and my breastfeeding. I'm also going through a thing, maybe you can help me out trying to figure out what my kids can be for Halloween. I want the best costume, Susan. Tell me, guide me.
I mean, at this age, you can do that because they're not going to probably fight.
They have no opinion.
And then, as they get older, they have more opinions than you ever thought anyone could have.
Too many opinions, kids.
So, the best costume, gosh, what are they? I mean,
they love princesses and Peppa Pig. No, not I go. There is
like,
not where I go.
there's a lot of people who like Pebbles and Bam Bam.
I think I'm going to do Pebbles and Bam Bam.
Oh, that's the best.
Really?
Actually, that is so great.
All right,
I wish
so
my kids would do that. They don't even want costumes.
I know they're too cool for costumes.
I'm going as Fred Flintstone because
No, let's tell Susan what really happened. Ooh, Jenna, Pebbles and Bam Bam is a great idea. Jenna, you could go as Fred Flintstone. Like maybe Wilma would also be a good suggestion.
I think Fred Flintstone would be better.
No, you're just saying that.
He has a better
You're
outfit.
saying that because of my lifestyle
He has a
choice.
much better outfit.
He has to carry around that big thing of meat.
Yeah. Carne. What's with all the meat? What's with all the meat, Fred? Yeah.
And the car.
It's too much.
Whereas Wilma would take a taxi.
Of course, or an Uber. She would Uber it. I love these books. I actually think they're really cool. Great story, and I'm so happy it doesn't make me sad.
Thank you. Yeah.
You and me. You guys remember that great movie Sliding Doors? Maybe the movie wasn't fantastic, but it was one of the best storylines ever, where your life is dictated by the choices you make, and if you turn left on the street instead of right, something different will happen to you than had you turned right, and that's your life.
That's it. That's your life.
And that's your life, right? Like, that's mind-boggling, and it's really
cool.
cool.
Grateful for those things you think are a mistake, but look, they're not.
There are no mistakes. Getting fired, tripping and falling, getting broken up with, losing something, losing someone. There is a reason why every single thing in life happens. There has to be. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to make sense
Ralph
of any
Waldo
of it.
Emerson wrote the best essay on that called On Compensation.
On compensation?
On Compensation.
All right, let's read that.
We'll read that one day.
Yeah.
I'll get
Okay.
it. I'll bring it. Let's do. Speaking of reading, let's do a reading.
Okay, would you read a little bit? Do you want her to read the whole thing?
Read. Yeah, we'll read one book.
Do you mind reading this one?
I don't mind reading this
I
one.
think it's a beautiful book. It's called You and Me, and this is written by Susan Verde. She's brilliant, you guys. You have
Great.
to buy
And
her
then we'll
books.
get Topaz on. Get ready with Topaz and stuff.
So yeah, so this is a writing one.
broadcast first.
All right. I'm doing. Yeah, we're
So we're
ending
gonna
the
take a break.
segment.
We're gonna come back
I'm
with
just,
Topaz.
I'm just gonna
and
be
you
live.
can keep reading.
Okay.
All right.